Cavan Community Radio.
Local issues, local voices. Cavan Community Radio, 97.4 FM.
Hello everybody, my name is Joe Fitzpatrick and I'll be giving you a very quick rundown of this bank holiday weekend's elections throughout Europe. I'll also be shedding some light on the campaign against internet censorship. I'll start with the UK local elections, which began last Thursday, and the results showed that the coalition are in trouble, with Conservatives losing over 400 seats and Lib Dems not faring much better, losing over 300 seats. These seats were picked up by the Labour Party, who netted over 800 new seats. Conservative leader David Cameron has since vowed to prove himself in the coming months. On the other side of the spectrum, speaking on Labour's success in Southampton, Ed Miliband secured an egging by a local discontented citizen. However, as Miliband and nearby supporters simply laughed it off, the only negative effect of this was the resulting endless list of egg jokes that followed in the media for the next 3 days. The silver lining for Conservatives was the election of Boris Johnson, who chortled his way through this acceptance speech on Friday. Ken Livingstone, on the other hand, expressed his disappointment in the loss and criticised the media's cover of the election, implying its contribution towards his defeat. Now moving on to the remarkably fast French presidential election, which brought out a massive 81% turnout. It was only a few minutes after polls closed that Sarkozy conceded defeat to Monsieur Hollande, thanking his supporters and claiming responsibility for the defeat. The final result was Hollande's 51.7% to Sarkozy's 48.3%. Hollande's first major action after securing the nuclear codes from Sarkozy will be to renegotiate France's acceptance of Angela Merkel's non-negotiable fiscal treaty. Next on the list is the Greek elections, where the Greek people have punished the current governing parties for their acceptance of such strict austerity measures. Leading in the votes is the centre-right New Democracy Party with 19% of the vote, almost half of the previous 2009 elections. Also facing the wrath of Greek voters is the outgoing coalition party of the New Democracy Party, PASOK, who has just been stripped of 119 seats. The anti-bailout radical left coalition, known as Syriza, came out positive with 16%. New Democracy leader Antonis Samaras hoped to discuss a possible coalition with Syriza. However, its parliamentary leader, Alexis Tsipras, said Syriza will not enter a coalition with the New Democracy. Tsipras also stated that European leader and especially German Chancellor Angela Merkel will have to understand that austerity policies have suffered defeat. Finally is the presidential elections in Serbia. Most recent polls show Boris Tadic at 26% and Tomislav Nikolic lagging 1% behind. Parliamentary polls also show Mr. Nikolic's Serbian Progressive Party, SNS, to be narrowly ahead of Mr. Tadic's Democratic Party. However, the final result will not actually be released until this Thursday. Both leaders claim to support EU membership, however Mr. Nikolic was against the idea only a few years back. Not far behind are the Socialists, led by Interior Minister Ivica Dacic, who gained 16% of the vote. This could mean a possible coalition party in the near future. On a less serious note, while on the topic of elections, it seems Rise Hutchings, a founder of members' spoof rap group Goldie Look and Chain, has been elected as a Labour councillor in Wales. Hutchings secured one of 3 seats with 981 votes. He also claims to be getting the rest of the band into politics and told the BBC the hard work starts tomorrow. Another small victory was claimed this weekend by the German Pirate Party, who managed to win 6 seats in the northern state of Schleswig-Holstein with 8% of the vote. Similarly, a member of the UK Pirate Party secured a smaller victory in Bradford Ward, Manchester, with 5% beating the Lib Dems to 4th place in that area. Moving on to the topic of piracy, the internet service providers in the UK have been ordered to block their users from connecting to the Pirate Bay, a famous Swedish file-sharing site which has been an infringement of copyright laws. The ISPs Sky, Everything Everywhere, TalkTalk, O2 and Virgin Media must all prevent their users from accessing the site. These ISPs were originally asked to do this but could not be forced without a court order. The High Court is under constant pressure from the British phonographic industry, BPI, who have stated sites like the Pirate Bay destroy jobs in the UK and undermine investment in new British artists. The internet service provider BT have asked for a few more weeks to consider this order. Pirate Party leader Loz Kay, the recent seat winner in Bradford Ward, has stated site blocking isn't the solution to anything, it's just censorship, and ineffective censorship at that. It's laughably easy to circumvent, and we've been running a pirate proxy bay for ages. And there are many others out there. In the meantime, the public interest suffers, the big ISPs suffer because they have to censor an internet with smaller rivals don't, and artists suffer because they have lost a new and innovative platform. One of the Pirate Bay's newer projects include the Promo Bay. This enables bands, artists, comedians, and even producers of an amateur nature to submit their tracks to the Pirate Bay, who in turn will pick out submissions from a draw and place links and promotions on the front page of the Pirate Bay free of charge. Here's a quote from their site. As you might have seen, we sometimes replace our front page logo with others. Sometimes we link to important political issues like internet censorship, and sometimes it's to a cool new indie music band we like. We would now like to improve this feature. We want you to send us an email and tell us what you have and where you would like it to be shown. There are even some artists who go as far to upload their new releases to the site themselves. 9 Inch Nails, for example, did this in March 2008 with their album Ghost. In the album notes they wrote, "Now that we are no longer constrained by a record label, we've decided to personally upload Ghost 1, the first of the 4 volumes, to various torrent sites because we believe BitTorrent is a revolutionary digital distribution method and we believe in finding ways to utilize new technologies instead of fighting them." On the 17th of January this year, a group of very well-known artists, comedians, writers and filmmakers put together a letter to Washington about their concerns of the oncoming Stop Online Piracy Act and PIPA, Protect IP Act. The letter was titled An Open Letter to Washington from Artists and Creators, and it's basically a statement about their concerns about PIPA and SOPA. I'll just read it to you now. "We, the undersigned, are musicians, actors, directors, authors and producers. We make our livelihoods with the artistic works we create. We are also internet users. We are writing to express our concerns regarding the Protect IP Act and SOPA. As creative professionals, we experience copyright infringement on a very personal level. Commercial piracy is deeply unfair, and pervasive leaks of unreleased films and music regularly interfere with the integrity of our creations. We are grateful for the measures policymakers have enacted to protect our works. We, along with the rest of society, have benefited immensely from a free and open internet. It allows us to connect with our fans and reach new audiences. Using social media services like Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, we can communicate directly with millions of fans and interact with ways that we could never been imaginable just a few years back. We feared the broad new enforcement powers provided under SOPA and PIPA could be easily abused against legitimate services like upon those that we depend. These bills would allow entire websites to be blocked without due process, causing collateral damage to legitimate users of the same service, artists and creators like us, who would be censored as a result. We are deeply concerned that PIPA and SOPA's impact on piracy will be negligible compared to the potential damage that would be caused to legitimate internet services. Online piracy is harmful and it needs to be addressed, but not at the expense of censoring creativity, stifling innovation or preventing the creation of new, lawful digital distribution methods. We urge Congress to exercise extreme caution and ensure that the free and open internet, upon which so many artists rely to promote and distribute their work, does not come on collateral damage in the process. This has been signed by over 20 rather well-known artists, comedians and musicians. I'll just go through a few of them now. Aziz Ansari is a comedian. The Lonely Island band, which is a kind of spoof band. The band OK Go. Samantha Murphy, musician. 2 members of MGMT, Benjamin Goldwasser and Andrew Weingarten. Zoe Keating, musician. Barry Eisler, author. Quiet Company. Trent Reznor, who created 9 Inch Nails. Adam Savage from Mythbusters. Johnny Stimson, musician, Jason Mraz, musician, and Tony Hawk. These are a few very well-known artists, comedians, and actors who are concerned about SOPA and PIPA, and they've done this letter as a statement. My name has been Joe Fitzpatrick, and I've just been giving you this weekend's news on elections and some insight into the SOPA and PIPA Act and the concerns that celebrities have with it. Right, thank you very much, and goodbye.